These corn fritters are so light and fluffy, and 4 ingredients, guys, and less than 10 minutes. Okay, I love a recipe that takes almost 0 time, and this thing is so effortless, it's not even cooking, really. It's just so good. I'm gonna start off with some self-raising flour, and I just want a couple of eggs in here. This is the kind of thing that's great for breakfast, but you know what? When you get home from work and you just don't know what to cook, this is also a very good midweek dinner. Okay, and then I've got some corn as well. Now, I'm just using frozen corn kernels because they're easy to keep, you know, you've got them in the freezer, and I just need half of that corn for this first part. And then I want a good pinch of salt, and then this just needs a whiz until it's nice and smooth. Okay, now I'm gonna get that out into a bowl. Now the rest of the corn goes in. Some sliced spring onion. You could add whatever other herb you like. And that, my friends, is it. Simple as that. So get this mixed through really well, and then turn my pan on and we can get cooking. Okay, I just want a little bit of oil, just enough to cover the bottom of that pan. Make it easy on yourself, guys. Use a non-stick for this one. Now I just want some healthy scoops of that batter and just spread them out so they're a nice even thickness in the pan. Now these are really great warm, but they're also really great cold. So they're a great lunchbox item or a snack item. So if you wanted to make little mini ones, they're really cute. And they do very well in a lunchbox next day. Now these are looking lovely and golden brown, so I'm going to flip them over. Just joyful. Okay, now these are looking really good. I'm going to take them off the heat, and you can keep those warm in the oven if you like, or just pop some foil over the top and then keep going. Okay, now these guys I think need a little partner in crime, and for me that is sweet chili sauce. Now I actually have my own coconut sweet chili, which is like this epic combination of that coconut flavor and sweet chili flavor, and it's tangy and it's epic. But if you can't get a hold of my coconut sweet chili, regular sweet chili is fine. You could also serve this with a side salad, you know, it goes with a lot of different things. So lots of options there, and I want a really good drizzle of sauce, of course. This is a next level way to do eggs in the morning. This is my Asian breakfast skillet. If you've never lived in Thailand, then you might not be familiar with this egg breakfast, but for me, it's one of the all-time great breakfasts. It's an awesome way to do eggs in the morning. You've got a beautiful, like, porky pop of flavor. That's right, porky pops of flavor. Who doesn't want that for breakfast? And of course, gooey egg and that beautiful egg toast dip. It's got all the things. Right, let's get going on the pork topping first of all. Very important. I'm going to start off with some pork mince. And I don't want any oil here. I just want to get it straight into my pan, and I kind of want the pork to poach in its own juices. Not after any browning or anything like that. So in Thailand we call this dish kai gata, and it's a very common dish to find in like Chinese shop houses or coffee shops in the morning. While my pork gets sizzling, I just want to add in some garlic as well. Just going to grate that straight in there. Okay, so if you have a look here, we're getting like some juices coming out of that pork. I really don't want it to brown, so I'm keeping the heat quite low. And the whole idea here is that we have a really salty, garlicky kind of porky flavor here. So what I need to do is add some fish sauce and a little dash of sugar. Trust me, the sugar kind of, you know, sweetens this just a little bit, but almost kind of enhances the porky flavor as well. And then just a little dash of white pepper. Now allow all of those flavors to bubble away and make friends in that pan. In the meantime, I want to get some spring onion sliced. And when I can see that pork is cooked, I'm just going to add in a little scattering of spring onion here. Okay, and that is it for topping number 1. Now we're not finished with the porky just yet. We've got some more pork to add. I'm going to use some Chinese sausage or lapchong sausage. This one is like, it's like my favorite part of the dish. It's like these little sweet pops of ruby red pork in each mouthful. And so I like to go a little generous on these guys. Now you can find lapchong at like an Asian supermarket, or you could substitute another kind of sausage. I mean, you won't get the same sweetness, but I mean, you know, sausage is good. Any kind of sausage is good. Now I'm going to use the pan that I'm going to serve my eggs in for this one because I want to use some of the pork fat from the sausage after. So I'm going to put that straight in there, no oil or anything. I should get a nice little lick of fat from the sausage itself as it cooks. All right, so just when you can see that sausage start to nicely color there, take that out. Now I've got a nice little layer of some porky fat there. I'm gonna add some butter to that. And now in go my eggs. So typically you get this served at a cafe with individual portions. So you get like 2 eggs in a pan. I'm going to do a sharing portion today, so we'll do 4. Now I don't want the heat too high here. I want the bottom of that egg to slowly set, and I want to keep that yolk nice and runny. Well, that's my preference anyway. You could obviously cook it right through if you like. So while my eggs are doing their thing, I'm going to get my bread going. You know, breakfast is so often about timing, isn't it? And these guys won't need very long under the grill, so let's get those in there. So these eggs are looking pretty damn perfect for my liking. I've got that white just set and that egg still nice and golden and runny. Now what I want to do is get my porky bits and pieces on there. So nice spoonful of my salty, first of all, salty pork mix. And then here comes the little pops of sweet with my lapchong sausage. And now a little bit more greenery on the top. And always, this is a non-negotiable for me, I need a really good pinch of white pepper all over. Pile those up on the side. Oh, and there you go, breakfast just like you'd be having if you were here in Bangkok with me. And I'm gonna get right in there. Oh, look at that egg dip. Nothing makes me happier than a nice runny yolk. Oh, so good. And now for that egg pork combo. I mean, it's such a simple thing, but wow, when you've got that salty pork and then the sweet pork and the creamy egg and then the whole thing is just like, it's just perfect. This is my kind of morning. I mean, you couldn't help but have a good day if you had this for breakfast. Yum. Let's just take a moment and have a look at that creamy egg. Whoa, okay, this is hands down the best scrambled eggs I know how to make. These are my miso butter scrambled eggs. All right guys, so I know that there are a lot of like ultimate scrambled egg videos, the best scrambled egg videos. I mean, scrambled eggs, it's all over YouTube. This version is my very own special, close to my heart version of scrambled eggs that I love so much. I mean, look at the smile on my face. I'm so excited already about how good these eggs are. All right, okay, let's get started. There's a few little things that I do a little bit differently, but first of all, we're gonna make the butter. Very important. Miso butter here. I've got some unsalted butter that I'm going to be using. This is at room temp just so it's easier for me to mix. Why unsalted? Let's get into the detail here. So unsalted because I'm going to add some miso, which is salty. I'm also going to add salt to the eggs. So I don't want to overly salt everything. Some miso paste, obviously. This is white miso paste or shiro miso paste. You can experiment with lots of different misos here. Red miso is really great as well, but shiro miso today. Now just mix that through. Now this is way more butter than you need for this dish, but you can use it for so many things, you know, add it into a pasta, finish off a soup with it. The miso just makes it really savory and really lovely and salty and really good. So anywhere you would finish off a dish with butter. That's what you want to use this for. And just get into a little container here. Now, the important part about this butter is that I need to get it really cold again before I go to use it, because at the end of our scrambled egg dish, we need cold butter to arrest the cooking and create like an emulsion, creamy goodness thing. You will see. So 10 minutes in the freezer to really chill it down. Patience will be rewarded. Okay, so here we are. Butter is nice and firm. Now we can get started on our eggs. So I find about 3 eggs per person is good. So I'm going to do a 2-person today. Now, I like to add the salt straight into the eggs. And for me, there is no need to add extra cream or extra milk here, because what we really want to have is that really rich, eggy taste. So why would we want to dilute that? And we're also going to be adding fat with the butter. So there's no need to add any extra kind of milky fat here, unless you don't plan on using the right amount of butter. Which I plan on using the right amount of butter, which is a lot of butter. So just eggs and salt, that's all you need. And now it's the cooking part here that's ultra important. This is where we're going to create the creaminess and the magic. So we want to be careful about the heat. That's the main thing. We want a really gentle heat, because a high heat will cook those proteins and make them really tough and hard. And I want soft, luxurious proteins here. So the pan should be warm, but not super hot. You should be able to put your hand in there and actually touch the bottom without it burning. Now, I don't want to be responsible for burns, so just be careful when you're doing that, but it shouldn't be really hot is the moral of the story. Now, add in your butter. I want a good tablespoon here, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And just let that butter melt. Shouldn't even be foaming. That's how gentle the heat is. Now that the butter is melted, I can go in with my eggs. And now just let them sit, leave them alone to just start to set on the bottom of the pan, about a minute or so. Now see how you can just see a little bit of light setting happening around the edges of the pan? Now we can go in with the spatula. So I want to, at the beginning here, create some large curds. So just kind of get in there and do a nice gentle push and swirl. This is so therapeutic and beautiful. This is such a joyous dish to make. Now we've still got our large curds happening here, and when I can see that we're starting to lose quite a bit of liquid, I'm going to go in a little bit harder and start to mix and break those curds up. Now don't be afraid to take the pan off the heat if you can see that it's getting really hot. And at this point where things are looking still a little liquidy, I want to add in my cold butter. The cold butter is going to stop the cooking from happening too harshly, and it's going to create like a little creamy emulsion in there. Don't be shy with that butter. And this is starting to look so magical. And now the egg is still going to keep cooking, so I like to take it off just a smidgen before it's completely cooked through, and you should be able to pour it out of the pan. That's when you know you've done a good job here. Now the final touches here, just a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. Look at that beautiful glossiness. And now a total optional here, but I just love a little sprinkling of Japanese Sashimi Togarashi, which is like a little like spiced chili powder. And there you go, guys. I mean, these eggs. Let me just try and make sure. I mean, it's so ridiculous how good that is. They are so luscious and creamy. Oh, creamy without the cream. It's all in the butter and it's all in that beautiful mixing. Gordon Ramsay, eat your heart out. My goodness. Let's film this again. I need to eat more.